Hey guys, so it's Shane here from LazerGaming, and in this video we are back with another Battlefield video. Seems like it's been a little bit of a while since we did one of these, especially on Battlefield 4, but in this video we're going to have some Battlefield 4 gameplay, some Battlefield 1 gameplay, and some Hardline gameplay, because today we're talking about the next Battlefield game, the one that will be coming out probably about a year from today, and you can expect some information on this probably in about March, April, or May. That's when we'll get some more official news, but we could expect leaks coming out before that. And I'm sort of just going to give my opinion on what I think the game could be, the different options they have, and where I kind of think DICE and EA will go with this. This game will be made by DICE. The Battlefield game in 2019, I believe, will be made by Visceral, the people who made Hardline. But this next one will be made by the people who made Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 4. So we really do have a ton of options here. They could go World War II, Vietnam, modern era, or futuristic. Now I'm just going to sort of break down all of these and the pros and cons of them and why I think they may or may not go with these. So let's start off with World War II right away. I don't believe they're going to go for World War II just to start off, because Call of Duty has gone there, and I know they're probably into the development cycle for this game, but I don't think they've made too much progress on it, especially since they've been developing Star Wars Battlefront, and since they already knew that COD was going to be World War II a little bit ago, and plus it was just kind of expected. I don't think that they're going to go in that route, especially since they went so far back to the past in Battlefield 1. It would make it slightly easier for the developers, just because they could use recycled elements like certain guns that are similar between World War I and World War II, but I really don't think it's a setting that I necessarily want for the game, especially since I'm probably going to be playing COD World War II for a while, and I don't really think I'd want to jump into another World War II shooter. Although then again, if it is World War II, I'd be super hyped because I really love the history behind World War II. If we get something like Operations on a World War II game, that'd be super sick. Now next is Vietnam, and the only time that this has been represented in Battlefield was in Battlefield Bad Company 2 in the Vietnam expansion pack, and that was super fun. That was the favorite expansion of most Battlefield people who've played all the games pretty much. And it's just a super awesome time period, and just a really cool war, especially with the jungle warfare that people really liked. With, for example, the community map project, the community actually chose to have a jungle map, so there is an interest in that type of warfare. The only downside is that it doesn't, again, offer that diverse warfare. Pretty much the entire game would be based in jungles. There would be a few maps in cities and stuff like that, but it wouldn't be nearly as diverse as games like Battlefield 4 or even Battlefield 1. Because the wars were so big, they allowed for many different play styles and many different settings for the game. Now, despite that, I do think that Vietnam is a very likely target. It does venture away from what Call of Duty did with World War II, and it ventures far enough towards the future where we do have modern assault rifles and stuff like that that people who played Battlefield 1 kind of missed. I think that the main reason why they would go towards Vietnam or beyond into modern times or even the Korean War was because of the more heavily implemented use of assault rifles, which is something we didn't really see in Battlefield 1, and a pretty heavy complaint from a lot of people who played the game. Obviously it wouldn't have been historically accurate, but just the fact that an entire playstyle was removed from the game kind of stunk. Now next we're going to modern. I would really love a modern Battlefield game. Battlefield 4 is one of my favorite games. If we had another Battlefield 4, it'd be super awesome and I'd be really hyped for it. The only reason why I don't think they would do that is because they did Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and Battlefield 1, and if they were to jump right back to a modern game, that'd be 3 out of the last 4 games that would be modern, and I'm not sure if the developers would even want to repeat that again, because you have to think about it, they're going to be working on this for a year or two, and I don't think they'd be wanting to work with modern technology again after having done it for pretty much 4 out of the last 6 years. So while a modern Battlefield game would be super awesome, I don't find it as likely, and that's probably the least likely option in my opinion, even though it would be super awesome. I could see Visceral, however, developing a modern one in the next year, which would be super awesome, and I'd be hyped for that, especially with the infantry gameplay that they brought to the table with Hardline. Now lastly, we're going to go to futuristic. Now I don't want any hate here, but this is a definite possibility. Battlefield has gone to the future before with Battlefield 2142, and we saw a lot of allusions to futuristic games in Battlefield 4's Final Stand DLC and in the Community Map project. where they said, oh, we're not coming back until Battlefield 2142. They left some Easter eggs like that, alluding to a futuristic game, and I really would like to see a futuristic Battlefield game. There wouldn't be jetpacks in it, in my opinion, but just the technology and the tank warfare that Battlefield has, we could get a really awesome game with Titans and Titan Assault, and there's just some super awesome stuff from Battlefield 2142 that they could bring back that would be really awesome. Now, I'll probably do an entire video talking about that in the future and what we would see from that, but the reason why I don't think we're going to go futuristic is simply because of Star Wars Battlefront. They've been working on Star Wars Battlefront, and that essentially does have similar elements to what we would see in a futuristic game on Earth, sort of what we aspire the future to be in modern military shooters and shooters in general. So I'm not sure if they'd go to the future just because it would be too similar to Battlefront, which kind of sucks because I really want a true Battlefield game to be futuristic, but I don't think we're going to get that. So to conclude, I think that the most likely is either Vietnam or World War II, but I think we're leaning towards a Vietnam or maybe a bit later. I really like that era and that time era, and I think it would be a super awesome time for Battlefield to come back to, and I really hope that they do. But again, I'd be perfectly fine with all these games. I'm gonna like the game pretty much no matter what. I'm probably gonna play it no matter what. It's just sort of how immersed I get in the game. I didn't really get too immersed in Battlefield 1. I mean, I just play it casually sometimes, but compared to Battlefield 4 and Hardline, I didn't play it nearly as much just because it didn't really reel me in like those games did. So I hope that they can do that. In future videos, I'll talk more about specific game elements I want to see from the futuristic Battlefield games, so subscribe down below for much more content on everything Battlefield and everything that's coming in the future for this game. But that's what it is for the guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.